It's your boy, Shogun Kid, and today.
Hey guys, what's up? It's not your boy Jeremy, but it's his girlfriend.
Hey, what is up? It's your boy Jeremy, aka Kid Shogun, the real one, unlike those other people. Okay, but yeah, that I'm the real one. Let's get into this video. Hold up. It's a what's up moment. What is up? It's your boy Jeremy, aka Kid Shogun, and today we are reacting to. Why am I sounding so sad? Because I'm filming this at 12:43 in the morning. 12 o'clock in the morning, y'all. It's 12 o'clock. I might post this at 1 o'clock. Well, it depends how long this video takes. 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't know. This is what I'm doing for y'all. For y'all. I'm going to premiere this too. So you can see it. See it. Unlike my other videos. We need to discuss something too. How come my 2 horror shorts party animation reaction from 3 weeks ago got 25 views? I need to be getting more than that. And before that, my body's basics got 36. I was aiming for at least 100. Only one of my videos is on the road to being 100 views. That's my 2 Grinch Horror Stories reaction from Horror Shorts Party. 69 views. That was 7 months ago. Y'all can't make the same thing happen? Like, I'm not getting this. Y'all must be talking about, what's your bedtime? Ain't you supposed to be asleep? No, I don't have a bedtime. Let's get into this video. Okay. I also have to say one more thing. This is a new series, Horror Shorts Party. Playlist. Yeah, I got a playlist. Don't worry, you'll be caught up. I should probably start making this into episodes. Depends. It will be episode 3. I should probably go in and edit all the Horror Shorts Party one and turn them into episodes. Can turn it into a good series. Well, okay. This is, I don't know how many it is because I don't know if my camera is gonna just quit on me. But this is 3. Hold on. I don't know how good this candy is. This is 3 true Starbucks horror stories animated. Horror Shorts Party. Okay. We're gonna try to do 3. If we can't do 3, we're gonna do 2. If we can't do 2 now, we're just gonna do 1.5. Cause gotta get the time in. I can't just have a 15-minute video. That's not how it works. That's weird. At least 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. But yeah. Yep. Let's get into it.
This story was inspired by a news article revolving around a Starbucks female restroom. There's been many incidents revolving around creeps or peeping toms spying on females in public change rooms or restrooms. But either way, this story definitely takes the cake. What makes this...
Why are they showing us toilets? And second of all, if If y'all wondering why I'm not like as energetic, I think I said this before, but I don't know. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I just spent the last a half hour. Spent the past half hour trying to do a skit for this video. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in this video or not, but if it is, it's probably gonna be like either before the intro or after the intro, and then it's gonna be about that long. It's a short skit. It's got my friends in it. Okay, but like yeah, let's. So tired, and I'm pausing this so much. It's already been 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Let's just go ahead and do this, please.
More disturbing was how the individual who submitted this story included a reference photograph of the alleged occurrence. Please do keep this photograph in your mind, as it will be a key component to this story. It's tough being a working student. However, I didn't complain about it. After all, I got a job at Starbucks as a barista. With its dim lights and jazz music, the ambiance was soothing. During break time, I would bring out my laptop and do my homework while drinking coffee. However, one day I received a disturbing DM from a random guy who we will call Chris Patterson. It was a video clip of me entering a cubicle, taking down my underwear and urinating. Based on the camera's angle, I could instantly tell that it was placed underneath the toilet seat. It was disgusting. I felt violated. I sent him a DM saying,
"What the F is your problem?"
The perverted man replied in a casual tone saying, "I want you to be my girlfriend. It's that simple. If you don't give me what I want, I'll leak it on the internet."
Nice try.
Can y'all please give me a second? I'm not editing none of this out, because you know how long it's going to take? You know how long it's going to take to edit all this out? Yes sir, we keeping all this in. We keeping all this in. I don't care what y'all say. Well, why is he taking so long? If you don't like it, you can leave. Procrastinate today. We're procrastinating today.
And switch to straight espresso.
Hold on. I don't skip all the way ahead. I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. It's right here where she on the phone and sorry, I had to get my mic working. Y'all can hear me, right? Exactly. Now you see why.
Outrageously, be careful what you wish for, Anna Smith. And that's how we ended our conversation on Instagram. Without a moment to lose, I contacted the police and filed a report against this maniac. A few hours later, I received a call from one of the officers saying that it was difficult to locate the suspect, since he was using a false name and a fake account on social media. However, they reassured me that they'd keep looking into it. When I arrived home, I received another call from an unknown source. I answered it anyway, and I heard the voice of a man chuckling on the other end.
I would hang up that phone immediately. Throwing that whole phone in the trash. I will throw it in the toilet if I have to. I can get me another one. Androids is cheap. You never had candy like this? What is you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Just magically delicious.
Who is this?
I asked curiously, but I received no response. Instead, he snickered incessantly.
I said, who this?
The man on the other end of the phone harumphed, seemingly trying to contain his excitement. Moments later, he replied, "It's me, Chris. I can't stop simping. Thinking of you, baby."
Listen, I'm super excited to show you what
"I sent you a little gift,"
A little gift?
I confirmed, feeling a bit anxious. "Yes! Go to your porch, Cupcake. You'll find something on the floor," he teased, clearly messing around with me. As soon as I stepped on the porch, I saw a Starbucks cup on the floor. When I picked it up, it had my name on it, and my lipstick mark still on the cup.
Nasty.
My heart throbbed fast as I searched my surroundings, feeling paranoid. Still on the phone, he aggressively said, "I know you called the police, Anna. I know everything about you."
He sounds like Fix-It Felix. You can't tell me he don't sound like Fix-It Felix. Man, sound like Fix-It Felix off of Wreck-It Ralph. See, just in case you don't know who he is, boom. Play a little clip for you, you know? See? See? Well, I didn't play a clip. I put an image, but yeah. The image should pop up on the screen. I edited. My editing self should, know that I'm supposed to be putting the image on the screen. But yeah, that you can't sell me. Y'all don't remember Fix It Felix? But watch Wreck-It Ralph right now. I guarantee you, they sound the same, and they look the same in real life though. He actually got a big nose. It's weird.
"You don't see me, but I see you. So try doing it again. I'll visit your parents' house 15 blocks away from where you live. Then I'll kill all of you." I couldn't utter a single word out of fear. Having noticed that he had my full attention, the man instructed me to be his girlfriend for a week, doing everything a boyfriend and a girlfriend should be doing together. Hence, I did as he imposed. He
Wow.
coerced me to meet with him at Starbucks on my day off. As I entered the coffee shop, I noticed an old scruffy-looking man.
Yep, red flag. Red flag. I will no longer be going to this state no more. I would leave immediately. Immediately. Y'all don't Immediately. 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 I don't believe me? Like, dang. I will be leaving immediately. Like, what? I don't Why would I stay? Why would I stay? Make that make sense. Leaving the country.
Seemed to be in his 40s. He had messy white hair and a demonic smile. Wearing denim pants, a black leather jacket, and a red turtleneck shirt, I was under the impression that he
Looking like a
desperately
Power
wanted to
Ranger.
look young and cool. He waved his hand at me, and I knew that he was Chris. He gestured for me to sit beside him, so that's what I did, even when I hesitated deep inside. He told me that he had already ordered us some drinks and asked if I wanted any pastries, but I shook my head in firm disapproval. "I see. Well, you don't have to be shy," he said, drooling. My body was as stiff as a wooden plank. I couldn't help but feel uneasy being next to this creep. Then, moments later, he fondled my hand, and then eventually my lap. I jerked and asked him in a low tone to avoid drawing attention to us.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
"What do you mean? This is what girlfriends and boyfriends do, all right?" He laughed as he scanned my body maliciously. Suddenly, he glanced.
You see a man looking up and down at you? You do the same. You got a problem, bruh? How about you come and fix it? See? Could have started it like that.
At me with round, intimidating eyes and said, "Don't forget about our little agreement, Anna. If your parents' lives aren't enough, I can also get rid of your best friends, Carla and Dana, and dump their bodies in a river." How did he know so much about me? How long had this pervert been stalking me? I fell silent and looked down at the table as he grabbed my hand and emphatically kissed me in public. In the following days, I was forced to stay at his place.
I feel your pain. She over here looking this way. I would be looking back at this man's like, you realize what you just did, right? Alright. Just let it soak in. Because the cops gonna be in here in 1 hour. Don't worry about it.
Where I slept with him. Then, before going to bed, he would firmly tie up my hands and feet with metal chains to ensure that I wouldn't leave his side.
Yo, nah.
2 days before the end of our deal, my parents called me on the
Yo, that's a bruise, man. Abusive. Okay, let me move up my camera because I know y'all can't see that. Y'all see that right there? Right there, y'all. I know y'all see that. It's next to my cam. Next to my camera. I know y'all see that right there. Right there. Right there. That's a bruise, man. That's a bruise.
phone to visit their house for a family reunion with my aunts, uncles, and cousins. The creep heard everything and insisted that I take him along and introduce him to the family as my boyfriend. When we arrived at my parents' house, my entire family was shocked to see that I was holding hands with an old man.
See, they shocked too.
Valerie Jordan.
No. We will not be doing ads today. So, y'all, this is a jump cut. So technically, okay. So what happened was they walked in the house together, and their mom and dad was shocked. So this is their reaction.
Dad knew my taste in men and were ultimately confused. However, to avoid disrespecting their new guest, my dad patted him on the back, while my mom invited him to the dining area, where he could enjoy a sumptuous meal. While he was busy introducing himself to my relatives, my mom gestured for me to follow her into the kitchen, where she hugged me and asked,
Honey, where did you get these bruises? And who really is this guy?
I wanted to tell her everything, but when I glanced at Chris, who was sitting comfortably on a chair, he was staring at me with menacing eyes as he fiddled with a steak knife. Without a single word spoken, I knew he was warning me about hurting my family if I said anything to my mom. So I withdrew my initial thoughts and lied to my mom. I told her that I had an accident at work earlier that week, and that Chris had nothing to do with them. While everyone was laughing in sheer bliss in the other room, I was silent and tense. 1 week eventually passed and I was finally free. Chris kept his word, but this incident would haunt me forever. Since then, I left my job and avoided using public restrooms. Weeks later, I went to grab a coffee at the same Starbucks and saw the same creep with another woman. "Give me a kiss, Cupcake."
First of all, wait a minute. Can somebody please tell me why Debbie Ryan from Jesse is on top of this man right now? Somebody please tell me why Debbie Ryan is grinding on top of this man right now. This story not adding up. It's really not. It really not. It really not. Look at his hands. He's getting too handsy.
"You don't have to be so shy." The woman seemed just as tense as I was. When the man gazed at me, he gave me a wink, and I knew this was going to be a never-ending cycle. I feared for my family's life and my best friend's too, forcing me to stay silent about this incident. Until now.
Technology has reached the point where sometimes even cameras are difficult to see.
And police say one was hidden attached to a toilet in the bathroom of a Starbucks. Happened at the location on Outer Drive just off the Southfield Freeway.
It's the size of this pen right here. Now, it's easy to hide and easy to overlook. But police say for days it was watching people inside this Starbucks. You couldn't see it, but the person on the other end of this camera definitely can see you.
Clap it up. Video number 2. Okay, now please, my phone, okay, I recorded this one time before, and my phone kept fritzing out. Please do not fritz out right now. But yeah, let's get into it. You already know.
On October 22nd, 2012, a woman in her early 20s named Whitney suddenly vanished on her way to work at Starbucks.
Okay.
What concluded within the case shocked the entire nation and unfortunately ended in a brutal fatality. The next animation was inspired by this tragic event. There was a time not so long ago that my only relationship to Starbucks was that I worked there. I wasn't a fanatical
What? Hold on. That's a wheelchair? Oh, really?
The next animation was inspired by this tragic event. There was a time not so long ago.
Oh, that's a wheelchair. I wonder. Wait, how is she working if she's handicapped? I mean, it's not like a insult. I was just asking like a real serious question. How do people work when they're in like wheelchairs? They probably have like special jobs and stuff like drive-through or something, like some type of drive-through. If not, then like she's probably the manager. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Like she probably is the manager. Like real talk. I don't know.
That my only relationship to Starbucks was that I worked there. I wasn't a fanatical customer. I wasn't the owner of a franchise. All I had to do with the coffee chain was the fact that I could be seen in the drive-thru window in the dark hours of the...
How? Wasn't you just like... What? I know y'all saw her in a wheelchair. I ain't slow. Now how is she standing up on 2 legs right now? It's not adding up for y'all either, is it?
Late shift. For a long time, I thought this meant literally nothing. After all, very little business ever came through the drive-thru at the hour, especially given the location I worked at, being somewhere most people consider as the middle of nowhere. Most people were just stopping by to get some caffeine so they could continue with their overnight drives across the middle of the country. The inside was closed anyway, but I doubt most of them would have considered staying for long if it was. It wasn't an urban craft coffee house. It was just a rural Starbucks.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. How may I take your order?
Yeah, so, like...
Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. Come on now, you can't tell me that don't look like him.
I'd like a grande iced caramel macchiato with extra vanilla sweet foam, 2 pumps of caramel syrup, 2 pumps of mocha syrup with soy milk and brown sugar topping. Oh, and 2 extra shots of espresso. I know.
You really trying
Sandy
to stay
Smith's daughter's...
awake. Man's really trying to stay awake right now. Dang. Let me get up. Wait up. At least 10 things he done put in that drink. Bro, you trying to stay awake for like what, 2 weeks? Dang. And let me add 2 pumps into that. What? I would have been like, can somebody else take this man right now? He must be. Somebody get this man out my drive-thru. Like, at that point, get this man out my drive-thru. Like, come on now. Get this man's out my drive-thru.
understood how people could put such diabetic abominations into their bodies and continue to function normally. And it always amused me how they seemed allergic to real cow's milk, as if it was unhealthy or something, when they were about to consume enough sugar to put a toddler into a coma. But that's beside the point. Because for all the silly sorority girls and giggling frat boys coming in to order this unholy concoction, or another, none of them caused anybody any harm. Except, maybe, to their own pancreas. Actually, as a matter of fact, when I look back on those people now, I tend to see them as fond memories of a simpler, more innocent time in my life. More than anything, I wish I could go back to my old life of standing in that drive-thru and feeding people's addictions to caffeine and sugar. Unfortunately, there's just no way that's going to be possible. Not after what happened that night. The night began no different than any other. There was nothing in the air that suggested any of the things that were about to happen. So, when the beat-up old truck rolled into the empty drive-thru without a license plate, I didn't bat an eye. The drive-thru had a couple cameras pointed toward the intercom, so we could easily remember which cars were supposed to be getting what drinks. But it wasn't meant for identifying license plates and tipping off the police about people with expired tags or whatever. For the most part, the truck looked like a textbook local, some kind of farmhand or factory worker getting roped into some late-night work and stopping in for some coffee. The man inside of it, however, was somehow even worse for wear.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. How may I take your order?
Your voice sounds just perfect. What do you look like?
Yeah, you'll find out when you come around to...
Can I please ask y'all a question? I know this is like irrelevant, but like they saying it's a nutrition guide, but look at all that diabetic food that they be giving people. Dang, they got cranberry orange scones. Freaking what is a scone? What is that, bread? You know what? I know it's bread. I'm just saying, like, what is a scone? Like, I'm really, you know what? Never mind. Let me just shut up, cause like I'm making no sense right now.
pick up your order. What would you like to drink?
You guys do all those fancy coffees, right? I guess I'll get a large hot latte with 2 globs of Starbucks saliva, 2 locks of barista hair, and
Sir, this isn't funny. You'll have to order something on the menu,
I don't think
please.
he's playing.
Oh, I'm not trying to be funny, sweetheart. I'm serious. I'll give you the biggest tip of your life if you splash some of your very own urine in my drink.
Huh?
I'm not putting up with this. Would you rather speak to my manager, sir?
No. I want you to serve me. And I'd really love it if you'd serve me some of your blood with that coffee, if you don't mind.
Okay, that's enough. If you don't get the hell out of here, I'm calling the cops.
I dealt with some seriously rude and disrespectful customers before, but this guy certainly took the cake. I watched him drive off from the intercom, hoping that he would just be some creepy old dude playing some kind of crass joke on a college student, and that he would drive off and not stop at the window. But of course, he wasn't ready to leave yet. He screeched to a stop just outside the window, leaning out of his car door with a strangely apologetic face, pleading something with his hands together. Reluctantly, I opened the window just a crack. I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean to freak you out. You're just as perfect as you sounded. You know, you have the most beautiful blonde hair. Such long, sultry hair. Anyway.
Why is he talking about? I just noticed he's talking about her hair a lot.
I'm sorry about all that back there. I just want a black coffee. I wasn't sure what to make of the situation. He seemed like he was just some out-of-touch old creep trying to prey on some younger women, which obviously is a terrible thing to do, but I wasn't worried about men like that. I worked at a rural Starbucks, and that was something I'd had to handle a lot of. I could handle myself around creeps like him. It wasn't worth getting reprimanded to deny him service.
And how will you be paying?
He held out a clenched fist while he stared at me with hungry, wrinkled eyes, almost drooling over his sagging chin. I ignored his gaze and opened the window a little more to get my...
That was a mistake right there. When a man reaches his hand like this, you supposed to wait till that dude open his hand. Because he can grab you. He can grab you right now, bro. He can grab you right now, bro.
Arm through. I held out my hand to receive the change, but when he opened his fist, there was nothing in it at all. In the same instant, he latched onto...
Y'all saw how she had all of 3 seconds to move her hand. Look, look, look.
I held out my hand to receive the change, but when he opened his fist, there was nothing in it at all. In the same instant, he latched onto my arm with a vice grip and yanked onto my arm. He was so much stronger than I thought he could be. He pulled me right out through the window and into his car.
No. Let's talk about how this man, a whole human body in that truck with one arm, bro. Look.
Same instant, he latched onto my arm with a vice grip and yanked onto my arm. He was so much stronger than I thought he could be. He pulled me right out through the window and into his car. Right as I got the time to react, just beginning my struggle against him, he struck me over the head with something like a hammer, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was bound to a table, my legs chained up to the ceiling, my clothes nowhere to be found.
I would censor this, but I don't know what's coming. Okay. Alright. I see the problem here. My video stopped. So now I gotta go. See? Y'all. We gotta go back. We gotta go to when she got snatched. This is valuable intel right here. This is just the other half. This is another day. I'm wearing another shirt. As you can see, it's not 12 o'clock no more. It's a different time. 6:37. No, it's not. Alright, but like, yeah, it's 6:37. Yeah, I had to cut. I filmed the other half, but the other half is just gonna show me asleep on this wall. So we gonna do that again. I'm wide awake right now, so we just gonna do this right now while I have time.
Right as I got the time to react, just beginning my struggle against him, he struck me over the head with something like a hammer, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was bound to a table, my legs chained up to the ceiling, my clothes nowhere to be found. I realized that I was in that man's cellar when I saw him standing behind a camera on a tripod. I thought I knew what was about to happen, but I had no idea. Do you know what the Starbucks mascot looks like?
No, please just let me go.
You! The mascot looks like you stupid girl! Here's something else I bet you didn't know. The mascot is a mermaid, and I'm gonna make one out of you!
I see what's happening, yeah. Face to face with...
No, please don't!
No, yeah, your leg's gone. No. Yeah, your leg's gone. You're not getting them back. Can we talk about how they crank that up like a lawnmower? Alright. As y'all can see, y'all saw the rest of that one. Now we about to do the third one. See? Yeah. Alright. This is 2 Starbucks horror story. Number 3, horror shorts party. Okay, but like, yeah, we gotta, you know.
I've been the head barista at my local Starbucks for several years now. It's an exceptionally busy location, owing to its proximity to the major university that makes up the majority of the city's population. Lots of students and professors use the interior of the Starbucks as a place to get hopped up on caffeine and grind out whatever work it is they have to do. Because of that, I'm quite used to seeing some of the same regulars come in either every day or every other day. Sometimes to stay for a while, and sometimes just stopping in for their fix and then going on about their business elsewhere. I used to be one of those people, working on my degree on my laptop and getting addicted to caffeine in the process. But when I graduated, I found out my degree wasn't worth the paper it was printed on, which got me stuck working the evening shift full-time at one of the 10,000 Starbucks in the nation. It's not the way I wanted my life to go, but it's the only option I had. I had to support my mother. She'd been raising me on her own for most of my life. My father had walked out on us so long ago that I couldn't even remember what he looked like. But during that time I spent at work, I wasn't thinking about any of that sob story stuff. I made do with a little bit of self-loathing for picking the wrong degree, which I made up for by maniacally laughing to myself about how the majority of college students I served were making the same mistake I did. That's how I managed to handle all their disrespectful attitudes and cringeworthy entitlement. Of course, there was one customer who was different from the rest. It seemed like he was just out to get me for some reason. He was an older, fatter fellow. He wore a suit every day as if he were trying to be classy or professional. But the condition of his clothing, and of his whole body in general, made him seem like he had been quite unsuccessful in life. Everything about him was tattered, withered, worn out. He didn't fit in with the coffee shop crowd. He was too old to be a student, but also too unkempt and downtrodden to be a professor. Despite this, within a week of his first visit to the location, he identified himself as a regular, just because of his downright unhealthy addiction to caffeine. Unfortunately, his dependence on coffee was the only typical thing about him. He always came during the hours that I was holding down the front counter, and every day his order was the same. Black coffee, hot, in the largest size you have. Would you like any room for cream or sugar? No, I said black. More room for coffee. Not only would he refuse to say any of the Starbucks brand sizes, which honestly I respect, but he would also stare at me very intensely the whole time. Lots of people will watch me while I make their coffee, but mostly those people are the Karens in training who order super complicated drinks and love to be nitpicky and nasty.
No.
Karens in training who order super complicated drinks and love to be nitpicky and nasty. Pouring a cup of black coffee is literally the easiest thing I can do all day. Yet this man would watch me like a hawk as I did it. And here's your coffee, sir. Expertly done, young man. Thank you. But the stares wouldn't end there. After getting his coffee, he'd waddle over to a table in a far corner, then pull a flyer out of his briefcase and begin to read it. At first, this didn't seem unusual to me. Reading is a common thing to do in a coffee shop, but it didn't take me long to realize what was amiss about his particular choice of reading material. When I say flyer, I mean like a flyer you get in the mail. I'm pretty sure it was a furniture catalog or something. Whatever it was, it certainly couldn't have actually entertained anyone for more than 5 minutes. Despite that, this guy would read the flyer like it was a whole novel. I started to get suspicious after just a couple hours. I initially thought he might be some older creep coming into a college town to try and find some younger girls to prey on, which raised my guard. I'm basically the evening manager at Starbucks, so I felt it was my responsibility to make sure he didn't hurt anyone. But again, it didn't take long for me to realize there was something off about that picture. I would steal away many glances in his direction, and not once did I catch him looking at anyone else but...
You know, he like Peter Griffin, I swear. Look at that chin. That it's not a double chin, but like it's one of those huge chins. You know?
Me. I would be able to feel his eyes on me the whole time I was busy. And when I finally got a chance to look over at him, he'd just flip up the corner of the flyer to cover his eyes like it was a newspaper or something. And I also have to mention just how much coffee this man drank. I never once saw him with a cup of water, but he would come up to me at least once every single hour of my shift and ask for a refill of his coffee. Now don't get me wrong, 1 or 2, maybe even just 3 cups of coffee is normal enough. But 6, 7, even 8 cups of coffee in a single day?
Oh, nah. He trying to stay awake for the night. You already know.
It's just a problem. This all went on for a couple weeks. I never really had a reason to justify kicking him out, though I certainly wanted to. That was the case until he started trying to follow me home. He got in the habit of staying in the shop until close. And when I told him he had to leave, he would walk outside rather begrudgingly, then just stand right in front of the door. He didn't harass any of my coworkers, but when I tried to leave, boy did all that caffeine come out to play. One night I got fed up and snapped at him. We're getting pretty close now, don't you think? Why don't we hang out? You sure make a mean cup of coffee. We could stay up all night and chat, you know? What if I hired you to make coffee at my place? Or I'll pay you for coffee at your place. You wouldn't mind if I came over, would you? Get away from me, man! I don't know you! Just go to the dive bars like the rest of the people your age and leave me alone! After that night I yelled at him. Things got a little sketchier. The next day, he was different. He was no longer even bothering to fake read that stupid flyer. He was just staring me down unimpeded. Even my coworkers started to get freaked out by him. What was also concerning was that he had stopped drinking coffee and switched to straight espresso. In that one day, he probably had 20 shots of the stuff, which is just an
Oh nah, this is a serial killer right here. Yep, this is a serial killer right here. He done ate 20 shots of espresso. You might as well dang near be the Flash then. That high metabolism you got. Oh nah. Yo, this is a serial killer right now. This is what serial killers drink for breakfast. Oh nah. Before killing all 15 of their victims. Let me go ahead and get this 20 shots of espresso real quick. Nah, already got them labeled in a diary or something. Like
human amount of caffeine to consume. Just thinking about it made me a little sick. But on this day, the man had a question he wanted to ask me every time he came up to order another double shot. And every time, the question was the same. Roger, that's your name, is it? Your name tag says so. What about your last name? My last name has nothing to do with coffee, sir. Forget about it. Oh, don't be like that, man. I'm just curious. Just tell me what's your last name. I lost track of how many times he asked me. Every time I talked to him, he got a little more unhinged and hyperactive. He started talking faster and louder, and I began to see the blood vessels in his neck and face bulge with unhealthy pressure. His eyes turned bloodshot and began to overdilate. Oh, come on, man. It's just a name. It doesn't mean anything. Just tell me your last name. Fine, I'll tell you if you just shut up. My last name's Walker. Happy? Well, isn't that funny? That's my last name. He collapsed to the floor very suddenly, in the middle of speaking, never finishing his sentence.
I'm telling you, it's all that caffeine. See, now this white foam coming out your mouth. That's what you get. That's what you get.
Because it's odd.
Oh, nah. I know I didn't.
I'll tell you if you just shut up. My last name's Walker. Happy? Well, isn't that funny? That's my last name. He collapsed to the floor very suddenly, in the middle of speaking, never finishing his sentence because his mouth was spasming and full of foam. And then the heart attack took him. It seemed pretty obvious that the caffeine overdose had contributed to it. But that alone wasn't it. They called an ambulance and they came and identified the man as Jonathan Walker. My heart sunk all the way down to my stomach. I have very fleeting memories of my father from childhood. However, he abandoned my mom and I 15.
That's his dad?
His dad was a serial killer.
Nah, he dead now.
Years ago.
He was a straight his mouth and everything.
No, his dad was a serial killer.
It wasn't a killer. Like it was like just
Changed for longer than I could remember. And though he looked very different all those years later, I knew in my heart that this guy was him. He tried to reconnect with me in his own strange and maladjusted way, and I hadn't noticed until it was too late. I knew that amount of caffeine was enough to give someone a heart attack, but up until I realized he was my father, I hadn't cared about his well-being.
nah.
I'd go back and change it if I could, but what's done is done.
You killed your dad. You killed your dad. Yeah, your dad dead. I feel so sorry for you. You. Yeah, let's go ahead and just put me out here real quick, you know. Alright. It's the end right now, you know. I just did the rest. Okay, this is a second half. Yeah, if y'all want more, you know. Like this one. Exactly. Hit that like button, like my make it like the Grinch. Make it like the Grinch reaction video. Make it like that, but more, you know. I want more than 100 this time. I want more than 100 this time, you know. Like I told you, I promised y'all. Look, if I can get at least 30 subscribers before December Christmas special, you already know. All right, but yeah, that's like yeah, you. I might open my presents for Christmas. I don't know. I might. And then record. Yeah, that's smart. But like, yeah, y'all.
The present is actually good.
I better make it happen, bro. Like, for real.
Why don't they get you a cola again?
Peace.